is getting Derek Carr back the shot in the arm that the Saints need to try to finish out the season in just a respectable type way or better?
Yeah, I mean, I think it creates kind of like an interesting paradox because there's a lot of people that would probably like to see the Saints just kind of go through the season, get a good draft pick, not win too many games. Yeah. And, there's people that want the Saints to win games. And I think the Saints are obviously part of that group of people that want to win. And it puts them in a position where I do think that they become more capable, obviously, of winning football games. Not having Derek Carr through that sense, I think it was a huge deal for the team. He's someone that can go out there when things are messy and make a play himself. And I don't think they had that with some of the other guys. And he's just obviously a seasoned veteran. He's a top 25 quarterback in the NFL. And I think that you saw the floor drop on that position quite a bit while he was out. And look, I say whatever you want about him. I mean, obviously, if you have somebody that's like the 20, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th best quarterback, you're always going to be looking for other options, and you're always going to be looking to upgrade that position. But that doesn't mean that that person is incapable of winning or is a hindrance to your team. I think he's part of the solution if they're trying to win football games. I think he gives them a chance to win this weekend against Carolina. I don't know how I would have necessarily felt about it without him out there. I mean, obviously, I think they would have won, but I wouldn't have been as sure about it.
Obviously? I wouldn't say obviously.
I think they win with him on the field this week. I think.
But I'm saying if they brought Rattler or Hainer out again this week, it'd be an open game.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it would have been a sure thing. It lowers the floor on it a little bit. So I think getting him back helps you win these games. And I don't know what that means overall if they don't win enough to get into the playoffs. It's a partly fruitless endeavor in the grand scheme. If you're a fan, it makes it feel like the suffering was pointless because now you just lost 6 games and you're picking 12th. Like, that isn't where anyone wants to be. But these are people, practically speaking, that want to save jobs. The veteran players don't want to lose games. Nobody wants to invest, even the young players, nobody wants to invest the time to go through all this and to be a loser at the end of the week. And they've done that way too many times. So, yeah, I mean, I think he helps them try to achieve their goals. As I sit here on the outside looking in, it's very easy to say, but, the top 5 pick is probably the better outcome. Yeah. But, I mean, it's not realistic. That's something you can say, that's fantasy football. That's not realistic. So, yeah, I mean, I think he does give them a little bit of something, but it's never going to be, enough. The construct of the team, there's only one wide receiver. Like, it doesn't make them a contender. And, that's the thing that kind of matters. Like, are you a contender or not? And I think just too much is lost for them to even be a playoff team at this point.
First of all, this graphic, this question you asked says, is he the shot in the arm? I don't think anything can be the. I think you need like 5 things. I think you need Derek Carr and Eric McCoy and Marshawn Lattimore, and I think you need the team to play better, and I think you need the coaches to coach better. This team needs a lot. There's no one guy. But if you had to pick number 1 on the list, it's probably Derek Carr. I mean, they would have had a chance to maybe win 1 or 2 more games. Maybe not, though, the way they were getting killed even while he was out. But the drop-off from him to Spencer Rattler was significant. Spencer Rattler might be good at one point in his career. He wasn't there yet. I think they instantly become a lot more competitive, especially when you combine a healthier offensive line, a healthier defense. I think it would be really a shame if Marshawn Lattimore can't play for an extended period, though, just when they started getting healthier. But Eric McCoy might be back next week. I think it becomes a more competitive team. I absolutely agree with Nick. As a fan, there's got to be a big part of you that does not want to see Derek Carr come back and have the Saints win 5 or 6 more games, finish 7-10 or 8-9, have the 14th pick in the draft. But if you really are entrenched and dug in and believe that this coach is so bad and this coaching staff is so bad and this roster is not good enough and Carr's not good enough, then you should want him back out there and you should want this team to be evaluated at full staff. Because if Carr comes back and McCoy comes back and they go 3-6 over the last 9 games, then everybody's just going to have to admit they're lousy. If they're tanking, if there's injuries, then we'll get a lot of the, well, you look beyond the results, there's different factors. Let's all watch this team at full strength. If they do go out and win 5 or 6 games at full strength, then maybe they do have something here worth salvaging. If they go 3-6, then maybe everybody deserves to be fired and replaced. But I think it's pointless to wish he wasn't in there. I want to see this team at full strength, and then I want to reach an evaluation. I want to know if Clint Kubiak's good. I want to, I want to know. I want to know if this is a team that can win more games than lose for the rest of the year. If they're going to finish with only 3 more wins because they're not good, they're going to get that draft pick everybody wants.
Just going back to the last time we saw Carr was against Kansas City on that Monday night game. He was 18 to 28 for 165, 2 touchdowns, and he had that interception at the beginning of the game that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. So it wasn't his best outing of the year, but
Definitely not.
Coming back, having had time to kind of recuperate from his injury, kind of analyze what's happening on the field, I think he's going to come out. And then Carolina is a team that's actively getting worse. They got rid of one of their best receivers yesterday in Deontay Johnson. So this might be the game that they need to try to get back on track.
It's the best setup for him to come back and have success. I mean, this is a great slump buster type team for them to go out there and it wouldn't hurt to see some of the magic that you saw the first time against them. And what does it mean if they do it? I don't know if it means a ton, but I think it would probably feel good, and it would probably help them get some of the positivity back that I know for a fact is lacking right now. I know they had a captain's meeting and everything, and the message was that everything was all good. I mean, I've heard some people that are frustrated, and they should be frustrated. And, I think that's just the reality of the situation. And if you lose to Carolina, I think you're in a very, very bad and dark place very quickly. But if you have a good game and you win and it looks good and it feels good and it is like it was, the first time they played, I think that would help quite a bit. Even if it's half of that, I think it would help quite a bit. They really need to find a way to get back on the right track, look like a good football team, have a good offense.
Yeah.
And, Mike's right. Like, you want the full evaluation of things. And, I don't think the first 3 games were terrible. I thought Philly had a good plan against them, and I thought they fought hard, and then they ultimately lost at the end. I thought they looked okay against Atlanta. Defense had a huge break in that game. They lose it. I don't think anyone could have won against Kansas City with that offensive line, against that pass rush, against that defensive coordinator. And, that's not making an excuse. Like, sometimes attrition is a real thing, and it was real there. But, you want to get to the end of this, and you don't want anyone to be able to say, well, what was the reason? If they didn't have this, they didn't have that, they didn't have this. So get them on the field and find out. If they aren't a good team, they might not be a good team. Look, I don't know that the results changed in any of the last 3 for certain with Carr on the field. They probably lose the first 2 for sure. I think the Chargers was a winnable game with the real with your starting quarterback on the field.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't, though, but it was the only one that I feel like might have changed. I don't know about the other 2, just given all the injuries and everything. Derek Carr is not a guy that's digging you out of the ditch, but if you give him the right people and everything.
Denver even felt, wasn't it like, I'm remembering back, wasn't that like a 1-score game until like
Chargers?
the 4th quarter? Denver even. Like, I'm saying, like, maybe the defense doesn't just totally collapse if the offense is scoring points.
I don't know. I mean, like that.
It could be a different reality.
That
Who
one,
knows?
that one
But
felt so nasty at the end, though, that I can't give them credit for it. Like, it just felt helpless. It felt like people were asking if players quit. You know, like it was. I can't rewrite it, but you're right. It's possible. It's possible, but I don't even want to. Like, I'm not giving them that credit for that one. But yeah, I mean, look, you want to see them out there. You want to see what they can do, and just let's have no excuses at the end. Let's just really know what it can be at the end, and hopefully at the end of the road, there's a real and fair and honest evaluation of everything. And if they succeed, they succeed, and if they don't, they don't. And let it just be based on the merit of that.
Derek was available for media availability today, and we have the full interview on YouTube. But, Mike, you were out there, and one thing that he kind of talked about was what he saw from Rattler and Haener throughout their time as a starting quarterback. Kind of summarize what you kind of thought of his thoughts.
Yeah, I made up the Denver thing. I think I'm thinking of San Diego, or the Chargers. They all blend together. They were never in the Denver game. I mean, he was very, I think, kind to the guys, who played in his place. But I mean, he recognizes that it was not only tough to throw them out there where they are in their careers with their experience levels, but with the offensive line and the receivers they were playing with as well. The thing that stood out to me most about talking to Carr today, and he could be selling this. Everybody always talks about how great they feel, but my concern was we know Derek Carr likes to push the envelope and come back as quick as possible. We saw it multiple times last year where he never missed a start. We heard him talking about how he wished they could shoot him up and send him right back out there when he originally got hurt. And I was worried that meant the first day that they said, well, maybe you could come back, that we would see him out there even when he could only throw it 20 yards down the field, trying to do whatever he could, limited. And he insisted that he said, no, we all agreed I won't go back out there until I can rip it 60 yards down the field. Otherwise, what's the point? He said he would have told them he wanted to play last week, but they told him all along we're not even going to consider it till this week, and he agreed to that. And he talked to Drew Brees, who said a couple years ago that his mechanics got messed up when he came back too early, and they all agreed they shouldn't do that. So I'm sure that he will still be somewhat limited, but it sounds like he feels closer to 100%, and he's been throwing deep balls, and we're not getting 75% Derek Carr in this game, which I think is important too.
He better not be limited. Like, if he's limited, I just keep him out of there at this point.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to sound insane, but there seems to be, like, you know, the harsh criticism of these results right now. If he's not 100%, I'm putting somebody else out there, because right now they're being understanding of what's causing these losses, and it seems like the people that are above DA are blaming it on health and believe that the health is the issue. I wouldn't rush it then. If he's not 100, like, don't bring him back until he's 100%, because you need to save your own ship. Like, and him being healthy the whole year. I don't think they put him out there unless he's 100%. I don't think it's going to be, well, he can't do this or that. Like, he better be good to go when you put him back out there.
And just to finish this off, one of his favorite targets, Rashid Shaheed, is not going to be out there. He, went on IR and
for the rest of the season.
Yeah, for the rest of the season. So he'll have to find a way to get Olave
Maybe he'll have to throw to Chris Olave.
Yeah.
Valdez-Scantling will probably have a significant role in this game. So, I mean, other people are going to have to step up. I mean, you got to find a way at this point. Denver's winning games with Saints cast-offs at receiver, so you got to find a way to win games right now.